Alright, I'm standing here close to the balcony that used to be Ambrose Small's um, office at one point. He's now missing. He's never been found. I'm here in the theater, the actual theater part of the Grand Theater in London, Ontario. Hopefully we will find Ambrose, or he will make an appearance. Ambrose, if you're here with us right now, maybe if you'd like to make an appearance, or let me know that you're here with me. I remember the very first time that we investigated the Grand Theatre in London quite well, simply because it was the investigation that almost didn't happen, and that was right from the get-go to the end of the evening, sort of thing. Um, it was marred in several aspects. The organization alone was just incredibly crazy. Trying to get everybody out to do the investigation in the first place was hard because it was a Sunday night going into Monday morning overnight investigation. So obviously people had to work the Monday. So I mean, only eventually we were only able to get three of us to go out: myself, Steve, Linda, and Grant. So I mean, the investigation was. It wasn't going to be a complete, thorough investigation. It was only going to be a small, sort of, I guess, sort of scouting investigation, if you will. I guess prepping for, I guess, a more successfully organized down the road investigation of the theater. We got there finally and started setting the equipment up, and lo and behold, we started having problems with the DVR system, the recording system for the DVR cams. The motherboard would not recognize itself, which is something that never happened before. It was the first time this had happened, and highly unusual because, I mean, it was there. It was in the machine. It was ready to go, all set. We used it, I think, a week beforehand, and everything was fine. And for some reason, we could not get it to recognize a hard drive. It was completely insanely crazy, mysterious. So we had to go low tech, obviously. We weren't able to have our surveillance cameras for that investigation. Um, it just seemed a lot of strange things happened that evening. Very unusual things, from strange sounds to just problems with technical problems with some of the equipment throughout the night. We wrapped up finally. I think we were there for about 2 or 3 hours. And we wrapped things up, packed the car, and started driving down Dundas towards Richmond in London there. And I had no sooner than I'd crossed that intersection, which I had a green light, I hit a cop car. A cop car had just shot right by me. I saw it at the very last second, and I mean, it was just like a white streak in front of the, the dashboard sort of thing. Bang! It was just so real, surreal. Sorry, that I just had no time. My car was a complete write-off, and thankfully we were okay. That mess was thankfully sorted out, barring some difficulties and a lot of red tape, but it was sorted out. But I couldn't help but think, and I'm sure the guys, Linda and Grant, who were involved as well, probably have this running through their head too, at one point anyways, that was this the curse of Ambrose Small, the former owner of the Grand Theatre, who went missing. Some say he's buried within the walls of one of his theaters. I don't know, but it just seems so odd. That's, I'm not saying it's impossible that something like this would happen, but it was just mysteriously odd the way it happened. So I basically going back and thinking about that, going into this latest investigation, which we just did this past May of 2011, it pretty much set the tone for this investigation, which was a lot fuller. Not quite as intense as that was, and thankfully no crazy incidents happened at this, like in terms of life-threatening incidents such as the car accident that we had at the end of the last investigation. So just some thoughts about this place. Once again, this is an ongoing investigation. Second trip there, we plan to revisit again because, I mean, it is a massive place and it's full of intriguing aspects. What they are, we continue to search for those.
I don't know, was using it or did you hear it? You could hear everything coming through here.
Yeah, no, I heard you guys earlier.
Yeah.
You can hear it coming
Must
through
be
there.
you too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hear it through that vent. It carries all the way through.
Are you guys clicking and
Hey guys. Okay, we've got a vent here that is carrying noise really good. So what I need you guys to do is maybe talk a little loud for the next couple seconds, all of you in the theater. And so we're going to try to basically hear if we can hear you guys down here through the vent. And if you guys can hear us, okay? So what do you think so far?
Interesting location.
So from the last time you were here, were you kind of nervous coming back?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? And of course, because of what happened, obviously.
Yeah.
So Linda, let me ask you. So what do you think? What do you think? Do you think we're going to get something this time?
I do,
Yeah?
yes. I have a feeling there's a couple A couple that want to come out and play. I think we're going to get something tonight.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So Mark, what about you? Your first time in here?
I got a good feeling.
Yeah? So far,
Yes.
your first time being here with no prior knowledge, what have you been picking up on so far?
Well, let's see. I was out here on that balcony, felt a little funny. I think that's where that man was that I dreamt about last night.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, I went out to that balcony, and I didn't feel anything at the beginning, but when I got up to walk away and my back was towards it, I felt a drawing sensation, like pulling me back.
Mm-hmm.
The dressing rooms are pretty active. There's a lot of activity in there. I can't even pinpoint at anything, but to me they seem like there's a lot of activity.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't know what, but you know there's something going on.
There's like a lot of activity in there, yeah.
Well, hopefully
Like a group of people
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, yeah. It just seemed that way to me anyway.
well, hopefully later on as we unfold with the investigation, we'll find out.
I hope so.
Mars and Krista here are both sensitive and can read into certain energies and stuff like that. I'm going to ask Krista, so far, what have you picked up? What have you sensed and what you felt theory-wise and just, I guess, sort of equate all that?
Well, coming into the area, definitely the land itself is continuously active and energetic, which allows for the entities that are actually housing themselves in the building to keep feeding off energy of the area and the people. I have a woman who's walking around. She's actually standing right here beside me at this point. She's very curious about what's going on. So we're going to kind of lead her around. I've asked her to try to, see if she can give us some evidence of her existence, what you guys can get on your machines, because she's very friendly that way. We have a small boy that's hiding in the theater. He keeps talking about his loose shoelaces. He's very uncomfortable, and a lot of his uncomfortableness comes from there's certain energies. We have some Joker, prankster energies that are moving around the theater, which you're going to get in the theater culture anyway. So I think it's either a mass collection or an energy that wasn't human at one point and is now manifesting itself in the theater and just causing some issues and such. And
What-
go ahead.
What about period piece? Like, can you sort of like, have you been able to like sort of tap into what period we're talking about? Like, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, present, just a few weeks ago sort of thing? Or are we talking all sorts of different
We have
periods?
we have different time lapses. The little boy, the streets would have been very muddy because he's telling me that his shoes were always muddy. Everybody's shoes were always muddy, so that would have been a lot of the horse-drawn carriage times. I can hear her though. She's telling me that we walked on wooden streets. We walked on wooden sidewalks because I can hear that clomp as well with her shoe. And she had more of a refined type of material on her, on what she was wearing. So the boy might be a little older, technically time-wise, than she was. But everybody, I would say, I don't think you've got anyone here past 100 years.
Yeah,
I can't feel anything beyond that.
okay.
And do you want me to say the other theory?
Sure, yeah,
Okay with that?
absolutely.
Not to like get anybody upset or freaked out because I don't feel it's a problem, but in this either building or very close by, there's a lot of transport portals through the planet and all different, times and space, all that kind of stuff. There's one here, but I don't think it's being used because I can feel it. I can see the ring. I could see it from the highway when I was on my way. It's here. Whether or not things are using it and just very lightly, it's not a major transport. So you might not get as many floating orbs, you might not get as many streams, but if anyone starts using it, then it would be interesting and make sense that it would come out into a theater. So, but definitely it's somewhere feeling it more westernly in the building, very, very low. Very, very low in the actual architecture.
You could almost say like a hub.
Yeah,
A hub of sorts that just seems to be sitting there desolate.
yeah.
And obviously, it might have been activated in the past. It can be activated by certain things in terms of maybe the type of energy that's being presented here with all the amount of people that's collected here at one time. Do you think when there's all that, the amount of people that come in here to see a play and the actors and everything else, do you think that sort of activates it?
It could be energy to be used, but I don't think anything's using that energy for that purpose. I don't think the two are connecting in any way.
Yeah.
It's there. Should something or someone come along on the other end of the portal and want to use it, they'd have a beacon to come through. They would have a source to come through on, vice versa, but I don't see any energy signatures on it of use at all.
So what would you suggest to us then, investigating to maybe, I don't want to say provoke, because, we won't say
Yeah, you don't wanna
provoke.
provoke
No, not provoke, but sort of patch in and sort of, I guess, sort of communicate through the various ways that we're going to try to communicate. Well, is there something that you would suggest?
Verbally, if you want to call out to them, and just keeping yourselves in a relaxed state as much as possible, because there's a bit of power play going on in here as well. Certain things think they have an edge over other entities that are in this area.
Right.
So if everyone was kind of relaxed and you recognize, yeah, this is your spot, show me what you do, show me how you do this, would be a good way to do it. I'm also being told that tapping helps. Not that kind of tapping.
Not the sensor, no.
But if you're trying to get something's attention, maybe just type
Tap
tapping.
maybe a wall or
Tap a wall,
a
tap
table
a
or...
piano, tap a piece of wood or something like that.
And maybe a piece of wood, something part of the structure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
yeah.
Okay, Mars. Now you've had a lot more time. I've asked you already, but you've had a lot more time to go around the various parts, downstairs now, and again here. What are you picking up? What are you sensing?
Well, I sensed that there was, I told you about the dream I had, right, with the man and the woman?
Yeah.
Okay, and I sensed down in that, where the change room were and all the costumes and stuff, where they make them,
Yeah.
where they make them. I felt there was a lot of activity in there,
Okay.
and kind of a happy atmosphere, really, I don't think there's anything really bad here. These entities or spirits or something, they like it here.
So you don't feel anything, either one of you don't feel anything tragic
No.
at all? Nothing?
No.
Absolutely nothing?
Nothing that's tragic now, and just in my personal opinion, nothing that we have to be worried about that somebody has carried on and continued that energy of causing us a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there was tragedy that occurred, it occurred, but it's not being
something
carried
that's,
forward.
it's not big. Yeah, and there's, and the reason they like it so much here, I feel that they like the people coming in to feed off that energy. It makes them feel kind of alive, sort of. And so I don't think they're gonna leave this place to follow us home or anything. I think they're quite happy here. So,
They're acting it.
yeah, yeah.
They're acting it.
Well,
And they say ghosts aren't actors. They don't act on cue. Maybe they might tonight, guys. They might act on cue.
Though.
So I mean, just basically the reason why I'm doing this, I'm asking these two, is to give us sort of an idea of various areas that we might want to just maybe double check. Again, we don't know. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, and then let's split up and get going.